Hello, book friends, and welcome back to the SOT Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled, check, chapter-by-chapter reread of the SOT Truth series, check, with a tight, buttoned dress bursting with craft brew on the side. A triple check.
Yeah.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade, and on this episode we are stepping into chapter 55 of Stone of Tears.
That was a good one.
You're pretty proud of it, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, they just come to me.
Do they now?
No. You helped me out quite a bit, actually. You know that. Let's not peel back the curtain. How are all of you today?
Good, great. Love to hear it. I'm pretty great, too. I am excited to sit down and drink and talk about this chapter tonight. How are you doing, Nate?
It's Monday. I don't know. It's the first Monday back from the holidays. I know you guys are going to be hearing this on a Wednesday, but that's always, after a long weekend, it's tough getting back into, like, the swing. Today, I just
didn't have it.
I was really looking forward to this podcast and this beer. Actually, in that order. So that's not bad.
No, it's not. And it's a pretty good chapter, so that helps too.
Good. I could use one.
So, last chapter we left Richard and Pasha outside his room after realizing that somebody is inside of it. Pasha asserts her role as Richard's caretaker by flinging him across the hall when he tries to enter the room first. He ends up following her closely with the sword out into the room.
Like, that's gotta be a conversation for later, right?
Oh, yeah, for
when
sure.
they're having their lesson or whatever, Richard be like, hey, what the fuck was that? Are you supposed to be taking care of me? Throwing me across a, I'm assuming, stone hallway is, not that.
And it's very large amount more power than she needed to use there. He's a big dude. Flipping him over across the hall is a lot of power. Like, she could have just zapped him a little bit. We know that. She could have just, like, bloop. No, stop it. But instead, she chose to, like, whip his ass around a little bit. And, yeah, I don't know. I know it was, like, heat of the moment stuff, but yeah, definitely worth a conversation later. Like that was excessive and unnecessary. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because she's young, she feels a need to, like, over-control the situation. Or it's because she's a new potential sister. She doesn't want to let Richard get out of hand, because if anything bad happens, then that's her not becoming a sister. And something that we know about Pasha so far in this book is that she will do anything to become a sister. Jade, anything.
Yeah, I believe you. I believe you.
Luckily, though, it just turns out to be Verna in the room. So, big few.
Yeah, no big deal.
She wants to let Richard know that she's been returned to the level of sister. Shock.
Yay! Promotion after major demotion.
Yeah. And, like, she also not super subtly, but still kindly tells Pasha to get the hell out of the room so that they can talk privately.
Yeah. I'm a sister now, so I can tell you to do that. Bye.
Yeah. So Pasha, I don't know if you would call it gracefully or classfully. What's the word I'm looking for?
Tastefully?
Yeah, just, she's like, okay, yeah, well, I'm going to go change into something more comfortable anyways. So you guys can have your conversation. I can get myself out of the room as if there was something else I needed to do. And then you guys can have your conversation. But she literally says the thing that people say in the movies when, like, they're totally planning on banging somebody. Let me go slip into something a little more comfortable.
Comfortable. When it's
You're like,
usually
okay.
not more comfortable.
Right. It probably takes way more work to get into.
Yeah, at least for the females anyways.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. These are my good boxers. Sup?
If that. So Verna is happy to hear about Richard's good behavior from Pasha, and she thanks Richard for her return to sister.
I was going to say, for like the first time ever. What? He behaved well?
Right, you were
What does
being
that even
good?
mean?
What?
She broke you quick, dude. I expected more of a fight.
Well, and maybe because of that, she tries to lie and get one by him by saying that Marin told her about Richard's hand in getting her returned to sister.
Which she really had no way of knowing.
Yeah, no. Verna eventually admits that Marin did lie, like Richard told her to lie. And, yeah. So Verna was just trying to get one by him and get him to admit it.
Which also means that Marin is a shitty liar, too.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently everybody needs practice, but everybody's lying immediately because Richard's around. They're all just like, it's okay now.
Something we haven't really talked much about, at least in the last little while, is that we do know that they're Sisters of the Dark here.
Yes.
So I'm seeing a pattern emerge with these women who we know won't lie, and so I'm going to assume that if they're like, no, lying is bad, in the, service of the Creator, it's not okay, all of that. Not Sisters of the Dark. But they have all been a little bit older, stern women.
Yeah.
With Richard that really give him a hard time. And it's like, kind of like mom,
Yeah.
She'll give you a lot of shit, but she loves you. She wants good for you. And then you have the Sisters of the Dark, which are just not that. They're all the other ones, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they care about flailing boys' skin off and fucking demons.
Fun.
Yeah. Just a great weekend, that's all.
I'm just so happy that I podcast instead of that. That guy sounds awful.
Well, when Verna asks how Richard is, his only real problem currently is that his clothes are a little too fancy for his taste, but he's willing to put up with it for peace. He'll deal with it for now, Verna asks him again if they want to be buddies. You want to, buddy up now? You did a thing for me. Obviously, you're being cool. And he's like, you want to take my collar off? No? Then fuck off. Remember?
I just love the dynamic difference. At first, it's, how are you doing? You okay? And okay, this does not happen in the book, but I picture Richard bursting into tears. It's so awful, Verna. I can't stand it here. The food is terrible. I have the stupid red jacket. I am not going to survive. She's like, it's okay. I mean, it helps to have friends. Fuck off. You're not my friend. Unless you're going to help me escape. Then no. It's not even like that. Whoa. Now, granted, he wasn't really doing that, but with the jacket, he really bothers him so much that even to somebody like Verna, trusts her more than he would trust anybody else at the palace at this point. Because he's had the longest amount of time with her.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, we know Richard's not exactly trusting these people. But I still think it's funny because he decides to tell her a detail like that. Like, the clothes really fucking bother me, Verna. What the hell? She doesn't care.
It's like he's entertaining a pseudo friendship while also being like, we're actually not friends though, because I might kill you someday.
Yeah, just so be prepared for that.
But in the meantime, we can maybe have breakfast together tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we can share a beer before I kill you on the morrow.
Which I guess, we're all stuck here, so whatever.
Yeah, it's not like he's got a choice at this point, really.
It's like being in lockdown with people that you can't control.
I'm sorry, Jade. So she starts talking about how he uses his Han without knowing that he's doing it. And she mentions that he had to have used it to kill the Mriz with, because there was no possible way that he could have killed a Mriz with without using his magic. Period.
End of sentence.
Oh, shit, you're good.
Yeah. That was 2 periods.
And Richard tries to say that it was just the sword. But she tells him, of course, surprise, no, Richard, that's not right. The sword couldn't have told him that the creature was coming, even if the sword did kill the thing, which might be part of it. We don't really know. Maybe a regular sword wouldn't do shit to this thing.
Right, but it doesn't, glow or start humming or vibrating or something, when stuff is near it.
That was all him.
Yes.
Yes. And it's really hard for me to read Richard denying that it's his Han when it's so clearly, obviously that.
Combined with everything else that's happened since we've met him and all the people who have been like, dude, this is cuz magic. You magic. And he's like,
magic,
nah.
Yeah. I wouldn't blow it off, buddy.
I haven't seen any proof. Well, what about all that other stuff? Nah.
I mean, yeah, it's just, he never brings up the initial time that he pictured the sword with the backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
The time where he freaked himself out a little bit and went, whoa, hey, maybe I did do it.
Yeah, when he saw the thing.
Yeah, and chose not to tell Verna the first time. That never came up again. And so from that day on, he's been like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's been the go-to. It's like, you're obviously doing something. If you're blacking out for hours at a time.
He just assumed that Verna put some weird mushrooms in the soup that night, I guess.
Gosh, let's hope. Those sound nice.
So Richard is too tired to argue at this point anyways about the Han thing. So I kind of took it as him kind of agreeing. Because he was just like, I don't know what happened. I just protected myself.
We'll go with your story because it's easier than fighting. It's an old couple, like, end of fight. Nobody's budged an inch. But he's just like, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure.
I did whatever I had to do. Can we just call it that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a thing. You weren't happy about it, but here we are.
Womp womp.
What's dinner?
So Verna points out that despite him being a badass and being able to kill Amrizwith, Pasha was able to use her magic to chuck him across the room. She tells him he better study up because she's got, like, you know, just a little tiny bit of magic, and she was able to do that.
Well, and apparently he's going to need to study up.
Yes.
Because even if that was an overreaction on Pasha's part, that's still kind of terrifying.
Yeah,
Up
she's
until
freaky.
now, yeah, we haven't seen, other than the Sisters of the Dark, any, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Any visceral display of power. Vulgar display of power. Fuck yes! Pantera fans, are you with me?
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, from the Sisters of the Light, though, we've seen some shit from a Sister of the Dark in the woods with the demon and, like, well, and just what they're capable of. So, like, if this is what a very low-level Pasha can do, and then we know for a fact there's a Sister of the Dark who is, like, uber-powerful and multi-gifted.
The one who was fucking Jed in the forest?
Yeah, then Richard is really in trouble.
Yep. Just not good.
No.
So speaking about the woods, when Verna asks Richard about why he wanted to go there in the first place, he tells her the honest truth about it pulling him in. He had a hunger to pound his fist on a wall, and that was the fucking place. There's walls everywhere in that woods. Verna has been talking to some people, and some people believe that the woods were placed there for certain wizards.
Eyebrows go way up. I liked this because Richard was a woods guide.
Oh.
The woods are his fucking thing. So, Jade, I'm going to put you on the spot here. You are the biggest Disney fan I know. Full stop. Period. Probably bigger than Walt Disney himself.
Oh, gosh.
I'm serious. I see you in that light.
Oh, gosh.
You love it wholeheartedly. So, I'm telling you that the calling you feel to go to Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you see where I'm going now with it?
I think so.
Is a magical calling because you are meant to do something at Disney World. And, much like Richard, your place of happiness, the place you want to be all the time, no matter where you are, unless you are there. Then you're just super stoked to be there. But that's your spot.
Yeah.
And you have a magical, like, actual connection with it. And it wants you to be there.
Yeah, it calls for me. I know it.
See, the look in your eye right now is exactly the same look that Richard would have, like, well, of course the woods want me. Duh. I want the woods. Let's fucking go, Verna.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for?
We have a relationship. Yeah.
Are there unicorns in?